Eagle reporter for Leah, and I'm here with Richie Phillips, who is a mechanical engineer for Casper Phillips and Associates. Richie, what are you doing to support Global Lifting Awareness Day?
To support global lifting awareness, we'd like to promote everything we do in the lifting community and all the important aspects that kind of go behind the scenes in the lifting industry. Casper Phillips and Associates, we're crane design engineers, among other things, and we do a lot of work in both the aerospace and the container handling community and other port equipment. So we think it makes a big impact on the rest of the world and helps the supply chain keep things moving.
As you know, GLAD24 is a global event, and you're based in the USA. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're based out of the USA, right here in the greater Seattle area, within driving distance of Port of Tacoma, Port of Seattle, Vancouver, Port of Portland.
And what does it mean to you promoting the lifting industry?
A lot of it's a celebration of everything that all the different companies do. You know, us as engineers, we're just one part of it. So it's nice to see some of the other things that other contributors do, whether it's a crane operator, a manufacturer, or how media are helping us promote.
And for those that don't work in the industry, tell us about some of the projects that you work on.
A lot of the work we do goes behind the scenes, and you heard of all the supply chain shortages and stuff like that, but the cranes were doing a lot of the lifting, especially in the ports for the global trade. Actually, the container cranes in 1956, they helped lower the cost of imports from about $6.48 to 16 cents a pound. So quite the reduction, to about 3% of the price when container cranes were first invented. So pretty remarkable revolution, and it actually helped lead to the globalization that we see today.
And how will you be supporting the event today?
I think we're getting out there and we're telling people the exciting things we're doing, because the lifting community, it may not have quite the draw it used to with all the new and exciting emerging technologies that are coming out, but I can assure you there's still a lot of very interesting design work. And at the end of the day, automated cranes are essentially big giant robots. So I think some of the youth could be really drawn into the industry.
And as I understand, you're based out of the US, but you are in fact a global company. Tell me more about that.
We are a global company, and as you know, the container business is a global business and it supports the global supply chain. Actually, today it's estimated that about 90% of the global trade is transported across oceans, but of course, that's more than just containerized trade. It also includes bulk handling, roll-on, roll-off, and even the cranes themselves. So quite a big chunk of the supply chain goes through the ports.
And I believe you have some interesting facts there that you've written down.
Yeah, actually, when the first container cranes were invented and built, there was initially concerns about them reducing the number of longshore jobs for workers, but just due to the big scale of the global trade and the level it was able to increase the containerized trade to, it actually increased the number of jobs overall.
It has a massive impact on society, even if people don't realize.
It allowed global trade on this sort of scale before they had the standardized container. It was very labor intensive to offload the ships.
And tell me more about the aerospace, because that's a sector you're massively involved in as well.
We are. There's a lot of background work to the aerospace industry, and yeah, there's a lot of very sensitive parts that need to be moved along and carried throughout the factory, and they need to be controlled very carefully because you don't want any collisions on your bumping your big expensive parts. So it's something that I think goes on in the background that a lot of people don't notice, whether it be moving big fuselages throughout a factory, assembling parts together, even to painting. We've designed lifting applications for all kinds of things in the aerospace sector. And I really like that sector because it really makes the world smaller. There's something about being able to fly hours across an ocean instead of days.
So how will you be using the GLAD24 hashtag today?
We're going to be posting and celebrating some of our achievements over social media with the GLAD hashtag and posting some exciting stuff. So definitely follow the hashtag, see what the other companies are posting, see what the media outlets have to say, and I think it'll be very interesting.
And do you think these kind of events will attract the next generation of young engineers?
I sure hope so. Seeing the fruits of the labor and the exciting part of it is gonna have a good chance to attract the younger audience. Definitely seeing the breadth of what the industry has to offer, because sometimes when people think of cranes, they just think of the just one type of crane or just this or just that, but they don't really realize that inside a lot of those factories, even assembly plants, there's just cranes all over every bay, and they really help people be able to build big parts and big assemblies, from ships to other cranes to airplanes, everything.
What advice would you give to somebody interested in this industry?
To just be curious. Sometimes you're going to look at different things. There's going to be an aspect to the crane design that you're not sure why that's there. Just ask one of the older engineers. They'll know, they'll tell you, and you'll get a lot more background knowledge, and eventually you're going to assemble a very good skill set.
Well, thank you very much for your time today.
You're welcome.